Not only is the US and NATO not helping at all by sending weapons over there, but the whole damn conflict is their creation. Most of these clowns just ate up the narrative that Putin was the new Hitler and he was hell-bent on restoring the old Soviet Union. God, that's so dumb. We forced Putin's hand. Hey guys, welcome back to Dima Talks. This is a follow-up to the first Ukraine video that I did, in which I talked about how the Ukraine conflict is really a proxy war between US and Russia. The video actually got 86% likes, which surprised me. But as I expected, there was also shit like this. You must be consumed by Russian propaganda. NATO is a defensive organization. Its only aim is to stop aggression. I'm not mad when people say things like this at all, but I'm completely convinced that it's this type of person, the Ukrainian flag in their bio person, all the people that still watch mainstream media.
Extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Basically, anybody that says we need to be involved in this war knows absolutely nothing about the war, not how it started, what it's being fought over. They can't tell you why they're so emotional and bent out of shape about it. Besides giving you a generic, people are dying. Well, no shit, people are dying. People are dying in various wars and conflicts every single day. Why did you all of a sudden decide to give a shit about this one? Not only is the US and NATO not helping at all by sending weapons over there, but the whole damn conflict is their creation. And I mean that in the most literal way. The truth is, they started this war, and Russia did nothing but try to mitigate it for decades. We just ignored them completely. The mainstream media will tell you that the conflict started when Russia invaded Crimea in February 27, 2014. But in reality, anybody who paid even a sliver of attention to the Ukraine situation would have known that the conflict started way before Crimea. Ukraine's been extremely politically divided, damn near down the middle, pretty much as long as it's existed. Take a look. This is a survey taken in Ukraine a year after the Orange Revolution, where everything went to shit. And they did a poll in every major city in Ukraine. The blue is the people that would vote for Ukraine to join NATO, and the red is people that would vote against it. And you can see how different it is per city. The closer that you get east, the more pro-Russian. The further you go west, the more pro-Western. NATO, which claims to be a defensive organization, has been inching closer and closer to the Russian border since the Clinton era. The relationship between Russia and the US has always been a rocky one, so NATO moving eastward was always looked at as an aggressive advancement by the Russians, and especially unacceptable if it's right along Russia's border. NATO looks at Ukraine like a corrupt, weak little target to infiltrate. Similar to what happened to the Baltic states that border Russia, that NATO just swallowed up, taking advantage of a weak Russia after the fall of the Soviet Union. The Russians even back then promised that that would never happen again. Now Russia is a vastly powerful country that has no interest in NATO incorporating huge pieces of land right on their border. Why the hell should they? Russia made it clear on multiple occasions what the implications would be if NATO interfered with Ukraine. The US is the biggest hypocrite on the world stage right now. They keep saying that Ukraine is free to make military alliances with who they please, but there's just one small issue with that. The Monroe Doctrine is a US policy that stated that the Western Hemisphere, basically our whole side of the planet, North America, South America, was closed off to any outside military influence. It makes perfect sense for a powerful country to put this policy into effect, right? They should protect their people and autonomy at any cost. The Cuban Missile Crisis is a perfect example to show US intolerance to any foreign military on their side of the earth, and they're right for it. So why don't we have that same logic when it comes to Russia? How could we think that Ukraine joining a military alliance with NATO and an economic alliance with EU was ever gonna fly? Most of these clowns just ate up the narrative that Putin was the new Hitler and he was hell-bent on restoring the old Soviet Union. God, that's so dumb. We forced Putin's hand. The US has gotten used to being the most powerful piece on the board. If we don't curb our self-importance on the world stage, we're gonna be in for a rude awakening. It's becoming a multipolar world, and the idiots in Washington don't have a clue. How many of you know that Putin proposed an economic rescue plan for Ukraine? It was a plan that was designed to put resources and money into the Ukrainian government to make it independent of both the US and Russia. so it could remain as an independent buffer state. This rescue plan, of course, was denied. There have been multiple attempts on Russia's side to end the war with very reasonable requirements. Ukraine not entering NATO, Crimea, which is 86% pro-Russian, to be recognized as a Russian territory, independence granted to Donetsk Republic, and Ukraine surrendering weapons which constitute threat to Russia. I feel like it's reasonable. If the US and Ukrainian leadership gave a shit about the life of Ukrainian people, they would have ended this war a long time ago, and they would have just accepted the new geopolitical reality. And this is apparently the guy that's gonna save Ukraine. Did anyone ever doubt that this dude was a puppet? You thought he was gonna save Ukraine? The sad reality is, Ukraine is completely wrecked. Their fighting age men are all dying, infrastructure is absolutely fucked, and the amount of people that fled from Ukraine, that's gonna be hard to recover from too. It was never about helping the Ukrainian population. That's why I find it so ironic that these leftists are so pro-Ukrainian and claim that Russia's a fascist regime. It's like, do your damn research. We're prolonging a war that can end today. And like I said in the previous video, it's ironic as hell because you're supporting real-life Nazis in Ukraine. Up to 10% of the fighting force in Ukraine is Nazi or hardcore nationalist. It's a dark reality everybody just wants to avoid. Yevgeny Karas is the leader of a Nazi militia group C-14. He can explain it a little better than I can.
Ідеї. Націоналісти якби були там ключовим фактором однозначно і на фронті. Зараз дуже багато є спекуляцій. Ну, нациків вже ж було небагато, там, ну, ЛГБТшники, там, посольства кажуть, ну, скільки там було там нациків? Ну, нациків там було там 10% там, ну, запаяних ідейних. Ну, це ж питання в тому, це може так казати лише Йов, який не був на війні, не знає, наскільки оцих от 10%, хоча там навіть може дуже менше було, я думаю, націоналістів було хай там даже 8%, ну, наскільки це в пропорції ефективності впливу, наскільки це складало просто галопуючи безкінечну підвищення ефективності. Не було б цих 8%, бо ефективність упала б на 90%. Впливові, не було б націоналістів, все би це от пішло би сразу на гей-парад.
It's kind of jarring sometimes to see how opinionated people are about a topic they don't know anything about. It's crazy to see how willing people are to eat up every word that our overlords feed us. The world is not what you think. The days of US hegemony all over the planet are over with, which is a shame, honestly. China, Russia, India, Brazil, Japan, all these countries are growing in power and wealth at a staggering rate. If America doesn't adapt to the changing order, they're gonna fail like every other great civilization before them. They need you emotional and misinformed to keep this operation going. They need to keep us weak, sedated, and disconnected from God so they can get away with the evil they do to us and all over the world. Guys, we need to realize that we can't trust a thing that they tell us. It's all either half-truths or just complete lies. I am in no way saying that the Russian media is somehow more trustworthy. Honestly, I really don't know if they are. We need to realize that we live in the information age, and no matter how corny it sounds, there is a war on your mind. We need to be critical of every single piece of information that we hear. And if not, we'll just be blind following the blind. The West is in decline and the rest of the world knows that and is just waiting. We're not the power we used to be. In closing, I want to say that I believe that many people are waking up. The world's just gotten so crazy that I feel like a lot of people are just seeing through the veil. And I just have this wild feeling that we're going to witness some crazy changes to our world in our lifetime. Let's just hope that we're all on the right side of history. If you guys like this video, drop a like, subscribe, ring that bell. I'm going to do plenty of videos like this in the future on different topics. And if you guys like a certain topic, you can let me know in the comments and I'll probably do it. But anyways, take care, much love, God bless, and I'll see you next time on Dima Talks.